Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another Monday night. Rookie Roundtable is what this call is now called. And a couple weeks ago, we had a powwow. We were brainstorming on how we want to move forward as the Legends team and how we want to provide value for, people on these calls. And so the first thing we did was we established our avatar. For me personally, I think this is really important. It doesn't matter what business you're in, what line of work you're doing, who you're serving. That's the important question. The important question is, who are you serving? Who's the avatar? Right? Oftentimes we go into business and we don't really know exactly who it is. We're like, let's go with a broad range of people, like all the people. I can serve everybody. And yes, on some level, I think I can serve a lot. I can serve most people, on one level or another, whether it's, in life or with real estate, finances, something, right? I feel like I do have that. But my avatar is, well, first, my avatar is named Allie. And, she is somebody that is ready to step into something new, going through some sort of transition where she's interested in a new possibility, that her mind is open. She's seeking, she's looking for somebody. And I am that somebody. I am that somebody that's got a new way of creating financial freedom that at least she hasn't explored yet, but has always thought about, because everybody knows real estate is, you know, is one of the greatest vehicles for creating wealth. Everybody knows that, but everyone has limiting beliefs about it. And going into it, that's the challenges, right? How do we get into our first deal? So my avatar is looking not only to get into their first deal, but their first great deal, right? Maybe it's also she's had experience, but she's had a bad experience. So how can I shift that paradigm? How can I shift that mindset? And that's what these calls are designed for. It is designed for new people that want to learn, right? You're here, you're being here to learn, and you're also learning to teach. Okay, so that's why it also serves a little bit wider range of people. Also, you don't have to be brand new. You can also be here, you're semi new, but other people haven't seen you as this real estate person yet, so you're still reestablishing your identity. But by being in this call, by being in this community, you can invite other people to it, and knowing that when you bring somebody new, they're going to learn and have a paradigm shift for themselves, right? Because it's harder if you're new in real estate. Okay, you haven't done a deal yet, and you're trying to raise capital, or you're trying to get into a deal, and you're telling your friends, your family, your parents, everybody, this is what I'm doing. This is a great deal. But like I shared earlier, they see you as the character that you are in their mind. They have you in a box, right? They don't see you as Barbara, the real estate investor or the investor guru yet. So how do we introduce and invite people to it in a very easy way? And one of the things I was just teaching and sharing with the teens is we want to remove friction. Okay, as much friction as we can remove, that's what we want to do. And the friction is people don't see me as this real estate person yet, that they haven't bought into what I'm doing. Maybe I own a business. Okay, you have a successful business, but what do you know about real estate? It's like if I all of a sudden decided to go into the oil industry, the oil business, and I'm trying to raise capital for oil, some oil business, and you guys know me as the real estate person, and be like, what? What are you doing? Nobody's investing money with me there. Right? So, but I can invite somebody to a call where the basics are explained, so that they can, if they hear it from, if you guys bring somebody onto this call that's new, and they hear it from me, they're automatically going to be like, oh, well, this other people are listening. So I'm more open and receptive to hearing what Alex has to say. And now this information of real estate possibly being the vehicle begins to open up in the mind and in the heart. And that's the part that, I always want to land, is that I want people to believe, not just make sense of it in their mind, but believe that you can do it. Believe that this is the community to be a part of. So, it's called the triangle of trust technique in sales. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it's called. I don't have a specific name for it. But yeah, I probably learned this somewhere in sales too, where you just push it to your upline or something, right? Somebody that's got the experience. Now, I want to be that. I want to provide that for everybody, right? I don't care if you do a deal with me or not. I want more people to be in the real estate business, in the real estate industry, become better and savvier investors, right? Because the last thing we need is somebody to go and screw something up and have a bad investment, or lose investors' money. All that does is hurt everyone across the board. It doesn't help me to be better than somebody else and wishing them to fail because other people invested there. It doesn't work like, oh, if he failed, that means more people will come to me, and it doesn't work like that. It hurts the entire industry. When the Houston portfolio, and it's still on its way into the gutter right now, like when that deal goes down, that is not anything anyone should be celebrating or using as a, oh, I told you so, oh, you should have done this and that. Everyone's doing the best that they can. It hurts the industry as a whole. It hurts the investor, the retail confidence. So what am I getting at? The point is, we create win-wins. We always think in terms of win-wins. We never think that at the expense of somebody else losing, I win. So in real estate, if you can remember that first part, this is the first, I think is one of the most important ethics to learn about real estate and about life in general, is that we wish success on everybody that's in this business. Right? It only helps us. It only helps the market. It helps confidence, everything. And everybody eats and everybody can succeed. And that's the abundance thinking. So this call, yes, we're going to talk about real estate. I have something prepared for everyone, which is going to be cool. But I wanted to always start the call with a reminder. And the reminder today is win-wins, right? Create that. And we can see it. We can see it in our lives. It's not just real estate, because now that I say this now, like this point has been made right now, it will come to the forefront of your mind when you have a thought that's like, ooh, yeah, I don't wish that person to win. Right? If you wish somebody else to fail, that's only the type of energies, that's what's going to surround you. And we got to interrupt those. We interrupt it because unconsciously we believe that. We've been brought up. Oh, they got a raise. That means I'm going to have to wait to get a raise. Oh, they got a trophy. That means I'm the loser and they're the winner. We've been brought up and conditioned that way, and we have to interrupt it. So that's my reminder for everyone today on this call to start. And, I think that's enough time for people to have jumped in late. Everyone else is just going to have to, I guess, watch the replay of whatever else we're going to show here. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to show you a course that I'm working on. It's like the most extensive, all the knowledge I have about multifamily, about real estate. I'll show you one piece of it. This is one of like 30 modules. Like this is really in depth. We've been working on this thing for months. And I showed one module on Thursday on the underwriting call. I got overwhelmingly amazing feedback about it. So I wanted to show another module on this call today and, give you guys just kind of a taste of what's coming. And it's not just a course, right? One of the things that I do is I'm a bridge builder and I am a community builder. I'm a tribe. I'm a bringer together of tribes. So not just building my own community, but bring communities together. That's what drives me all the time. I love it. I want to bring my Peru tribe together with my Florida tribe, with my multifamily tribe, with my gratitude tribe, with now my Vegas tech tribe, my Burning Man tribe. So I want to bring everybody together because there is synergies everywhere. And if we can work together, like there's so many possibilities. The only reason any of us does not have everything that we want is because we just have not met the right person yet. And so on this call, we have the opportunity to learn a little bit about real estate. If you already know it, cool. Learn it to teach it. Okay. Take a piece of it, learn it in a way that you're going to teach it to somebody. Okay. I always want to inspire people to teach. My whole thing that I tell people, that I tell everyone in my ACIM class and in my mastermind for multifamily is I want you guys to teach. Right. I want to teach in a way that you listen from a place that you're going to teach. I want to provide all the documents. I want to provide all the resources that you have so that you can leverage it and teach. So today we're going to go through that. Then we're going to go through Q&A, and then we're going to do a networking session where you guys break out into rooms. Hopefully we can get 2 rooms in. Usually when I have a speaker, there's only enough time for 1 breakout session. And a lot of times that's where people get really excited. That's when everyone comes off camera. And then afterwards, we end up having like an after party because now everybody wants to talk. It's almost like I should put the networking portion in the beginning of this call and keep my talking to the second half. But I always want to land the point, right? Like I do this because there's a purpose behind it, because I'm passionate about teaching. I have a message that I want to share with the world. And anytime that I have the opportunity, I'm going to do it. So is anybody new or haven't been on this call in a while, want to reintroduce yourself or introduce yourself? Feel free to, we take a couple minutes to do that before we start. I know I see some faces here that I haven't seen in a while. Not very many new names, but, excited for everyone to be here. Oh, there is a new name. So feel free. Anybody want to say hi?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, you made it.
Matt Strayer again. Yeah, finally. So, guys, I'm Matt Strayer. I'm based in Oklahoma City, and met Alex, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe online somewhere, and then in person down in Miami, and that's the extent of it. So thanks for having me again.
Yeah. And what do you do?
I'm a commercial broker. So, I'm obviously anything to do with commercial real estate, but, really found my passion is on the investing side for multifamily and self-storage.
Awesome. Love it. Love it.
Yep. So if anybody's got questions or wants to learn, I'm happy to help. So just let me know.
Great. OKC, Matt from OKC. There's his number. Anybody else want to share? Oh, KC's here. Oh my God. I remember meeting you over in the real estate summit. I got your card. There you are. Hey. I remember you. Some of all the people I met, and we really didn't have that many conversations or even reconnected much, but you stood out to me for some reason. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
That is funny, isn't it? Because like I always remembered you and your wife, and you guys really stood out to me too.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope we connect and we don't wait so long before we reconnect again.
It's really tough for me to make these calls. Honestly, I have to go back to work, but I would at least wanted to check in with you and see what you're doing and all.
Well, thank you. Let's set up a time to just have a one-on-one whenever you're available too.
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'll reach out. Hawk, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Alex? Hey, man, I'm a solo dad this week. My wife's out of town, so
got all the responsibilities.
All responsibility in the world. So glad to be here. I guess a win. I'm actually looking at a property in DC. So I'm going to follow the brokers this week. He sent me the debt guy, so we're going to have a conversation about what type of debt we can get on it, and then run some new numbers and see, like, how how good the deal may be. I'm not too high on it. I just want to just kind of go through the process to see what deals in this area look like. But I'm just kind of putting my finger on the pulse, because I still want to stay abreast of what's happening in my market, so that when it does shift, I can be ready. So
awesome.
Sure. Yep.
Pitch that deal on Saturday. So hey, we have this is a quick reminder too. Hey, Nick, get the link ready. Actually, what is it? Dealtank.tv.
Dealtank.tv.
Okay, can you just
I'll
throw it
send
in
it.
the
I'll
chat?
send it. Yeah.
Okay. So on Saturdays at 8 a.m. PST or 11 EST, we've created this new show. Let's call it a show called Deal Tank. So think like Deal or No Deal plus Shark Tank together. And it's a great place for people to learn how to pitch deals and also pitch your deal before you present it to your investors or before any of that, right? Get some good feedback. On the panel is myself, is Sujay Mehta, who's got over $150 million of hotel under management. So he doesn't have very many partners either in that space. So he's a big operator. He's got a lot of resources and he sees deals from a different perspective. And then we also have Chris Luna, who is, has not done any syndication. So he went through buying $40-50 million of real estate, like really by himself. So he's got a different perspective. And then there's me. And then once a month, we're going to bring in a kind of like a celebrity to do that. Let me see. Someone just said something. Don't tank your deal. Put it in the deal tank. That's funny. That's great. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That was fast. All right. So it's a really great call. It's a really amazing online community that we're creating. So definitely check out dealtank.tv and you can, either register to be, in there on the call, or you can submit a deal through the website as well. Super cool, super awesome. We've had 2 of these already. My vision for it, I see it in the future. Like we're on TV, like it's Shark Tank, right? And there's like, Grant Cardone on there as a celebrity judge. And then there's like Vina, and then there's Brad Sumrock. There's some big people that will be celebrities on there and we'll make a show out of it. Right. And then everybody, we can build a really cool community around it. And that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So check out the community, check out the Deal Tank call. You won't regret it. This Saturday, it's going to be badass. I already know there's some super amazing, cool deals that are already being pitched in there. So cool. So we'll do 2 deals. Basically, there's going to be 2 deals a week, and we'll kind of go through which ones that we think are the most ready. All right. And then also welcome Angela to the call. Angela does our commercial insurance down in Florida, and she's also a financial coach. I believe she's got a program that's out right now. So feel free to say hi, Angela, if you want to.
Hi, Alex. I haven't been able
Hi.
to join in a few weeks, so I'm glad that you're still doing these. This is awesome content for everyone and love that you're always sharing. So thank you.
Yeah, it's always great to see you. All right. So, everyone, I see so many great faces on this call, and I can say amazing things about everybody here. Anybody that is new, it's a super dope community. Stick around for the networking part where you get to break out and meet some new people. And like I said, you're not where you want to be, not because you don't know it, or you can't do it, or you're not capable. It's because you just haven't met the right person to open that door for you yet. So there's a good chance that somebody's on this call, that somebody's on this call. Okay, now we're going to get to it. So let me open my. Okay. So we're going to last week, I already went through, on Thursday, I went through like all the key terms, possible key terms like that. Today, I think it's more exciting to figure out, how do you make money? How do you make money in multifamily? I think this is a good conversation to keep everybody's attention. So we'll start there and then we'll see where we go. All right. So hello. Oh, here we go. Okay. So 6 ways to make money when investing in commercial real estate, when you're buying apartments. There's actually probably more than 6, but these are the kind of 6 ways when you syndicate and put it together. All right. So the first thing is there's an acquisition fee. So acquisition fee, think of it like a real estate agent or a broker. right? They get a fee for selling the house. Usually it's about, when it's residential, it's up to like 6%. It's really high because residential's smaller, right? If you do 6% on a $20 million deal, that's an insane amount of money, and it probably kills deals. So brokers take less. Now, as a operator, as a general partner, somebody that puts deals together, you also can take an acquisition fee as part of putting it all together. You're doing actually all the hard work. So you can take, depending on the size of the deal, again, if it's up in the 20 millions and up, you're probably going to want to take a 1% acquisition fee, because that's about 200,000 plus, right? Now, if it's a small deal, you know, if it's a $2 million deal, you may look to take a 3% acquisition fee. Anything in between, you know, I think 1 to 3% is fair. I've seen people go as high as 5% on acquisition fee. I think that's too much, but that's my own opinion. And if the deal's good enough, why not? Who am I? Who am I to say that, right? I don't make the rules here. If they can find investors, great. All kudos for them. You know, I do believe that people that are doing the general partner side, they deserve to get paid, because it's hard work. It is way harder work than just putting money into a deal. So these are the 6 ways that I've put on today's call of how you make money. You can locate the deal. You know, these are the different positions that are available. And each one of these actually has more positions underneath too. But the overall category is you can source the deal, right? You can find the deal. And then the second part, you know, kind of congruent and with that one of locating the deal, sourcing the deal, is underwriting the deal. Who's going to analyze the deal, right? We always need somebody that's analyzing deals. I can analyze deals really well, but I don't like to go deep into Excel sheets and that type of stuff, right? Because that just, I actually start to fall asleep when I start seeing too many numbers and stuff. So if that's not my strength, that's somebody else's strength. All right. Somebody loves that stuff. There's probably multiple of you on this call that's like, yep, I love Excel sheets. I love looking at numbers. I love analyzing shit so much that I never do anything. Right. I just analyze myself to paralysis. Those are the people that you want, because you'll help them get moving. So underwriting deals, analyzing deals. Now you can also put the deal structure together. That's the person that's like me, who has big vision, who can bring people together, who's a tribe leader, natural tribe leader, people leader. Okay, that is, if that's you, right? You may think naturally these things will come to you. All right. And then maybe you got money. You don't want to do any of the other work. You're just like, I got money. I want to be a general partner. And here, I will put the working capital up front, the money. I will risk it. I'm okay risking the money. I do the least amount of work. I risk the money. Here you go. You guys go do the work. I put the money up. I believe in you guys. I believe in you, Alex. You do a lot of calls. You must be able to close deals. I don't know. Right. So working capital, who's going to put that up? Who's going to put the business plan together? Who's going to put the pitch deck together? Who's going to make sure, who's going to asset manage? Right. And then of course, your KP, your sponsor team, your team that is going to sign on to the loan, that can show the net worth, show the liquidity, show the experience. Right. These are all things that you need to make a deal happen. All right. So acquisition fee is one, disposition fee is another. So disposition fee is the exit fee. And so if you come in at you buy a deal for $7 million and you exit the deal at $11 million and you have a 2% acquisition fee. Actually, I think I have that example later. I'm just jumping ahead. Sorry. So when you exit, the price that you exit the deal at, if it's $11 million and you have a 2% disposition fee, how much is your cut? Put it in the chat. $11 million exit, 2%. Venkat, oh my God. Hey, welcome. $11 million is the sale price. You get 2% disposition fee. What do you get? Oh, snap. All right. Nobody else wants to play? Okay, good. $220,000. right? I mean, doing one $11 million deal in the period of the deal. Now you got 7 million coming in, 2%. What's that? 140,000, 220,000 on the way out. That's 300 something thousand that's available already, right? Now, in order to exit a deal, in order to exit a deal with profit, you're going to have to increase NOI. And these terms and all of that, I have a whole separate module that I go through all the terms that I could think of. And we did that on Thursday's call. It was pretty overwhelming, I would say. People were trying to take notes and people were trying to, all of that, but I send the recording out. We have 30 modules of this stuff. Okay. There's that much things that I share, all the way from capital raising to asset management to KPI tracking to social media. All of that is coming. All right. And so you bring up the net operating income. When you bring up the net operating income, every dollar that you increase is about $16 to $25 of evaluation on your deal. Okay. That is the magic math in commercial real estate that people just don't get. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 = 16 or 1 = 25. Your NOI. That means every dollar that you spend, you're spending $16 to $25. Every dollar that you make, that you save, you're saving $16 to $25. And when people really, really grasp this, you will become a much better operator. And being a better operator actually helps you with your finances in your own life. When I think about things now, I'm like, yeah, this is like, it's $100, but yeah, it's like $1,600. Would I buy it? And if I would buy it, then I know that I'm buying it. Like, there's no questions, right? I'm not going to have any resentments about buying it. No remorse. You also have to secure the highest possible rents for upgrades. This is part of your business plan. Okay. So 1, you're bringing up the NOI. 2, you're going to, to do that, you're going to have to increase the rents or lower the expenses overall. Keeping the deal stable through the closing process. So whoever is doing the exit, right? The disposition. These are the things that you're going to have to keep track of during that time coming to close. And then you also have to facilitate. This is a position, right? This is a position that somebody is going to be playing in a deal. When we are on the exit, and mainly this is going to be probably one of the lead asset managements that's going to do this, or it'll be a collective effort. We can share the disposition fee, right? Normally on my deals, we share it with the entire general partner team, even though not everybody will be doing these 4 things, these 4 tasks right here. So you facilitate, you deliver, you got to give all the due diligence paper, because if things change while you're in the process of closing, they'll come back and retrade you. And retrade means they'll come and be like, well, this is not exactly what you presented here. So we're going to have to knock $200,000 off, $500,000 off, whatever. Okay. So you earn your disposition fee. Next. Asset management fee. This is another way to make money, which is who is managing the asset? Who is making sure that the strategy of the property, your business plan, is being implemented? Who is going to be talking to the management company? Who's going to make sure that they don't steal from you and that they're on top of everything? On our deals, we have weekly calls with our property managers. We have a couple deals that have been pretty seasoned now, and we don't need as much oversight, that it's kind of on maintenance. We have a bi-weekly call with our property management company. Okay, so who's going to be looking at the P&L at the end of every single month? Because our deals now are distributing on a monthly basis, we have to review the P&L when it comes out. We have to go line by line with the management company, and then we have to show it to our investors on our newsletter, right? And so we do that on our deals too. So now there's another position that you can play. Who's going to be doing the newsletters? Who's going to be investor relations? I don't think I put that in this thing, but I will. That's an important position. right? And then we have to review annual lender reporting, right? So with agency debts, you are going to have to send reports to the lender of how the deal's doing, who's renting it, things like that. Okay. And then also, of course, if you have CapEx work, which is to do renovations or capital, expenditures is what CapEx is. Okay. CapEx doesn't count towards your expenses. It counts towards your improvement of the property. All right. And usually you would either get a loan to do that, or you would, raise the capital to do CapEx ahead of time. So who's going to approve all that? Who's going to run through all that? All right. So you earn your asset management fee, 1 to 2%. Okay. So, and it's 1 to 2% of the gross income. It's not after all the expenses. You're basically like a property manager. Property managers get right off the top 5, 6%, 4, 5, 6%. Property managers get it off the top. Asset management, another 1 to 2% on top of that. Property management fee. So this is now the property management company, or it could be you. You could be the one that's going to manage the property. Okay. Depends on your experience and all that. If you've never done it before, you're kind of doing property management at the expense of the investor's money. If it's your own money, by all means, go manage your property, go learn, right? Otherwise, hire a third party, a professional team, and pay this to them. But if you have the experience and you don't have a lot of units that you have to deal with, then yeah, maybe you can self-manage, right? But even our deal, we have a 30 unit deal. It's like the smallest we have a management company for. So that's the managing the day-to-day operation. This is the tedious work. Okay, this is between 3 to 8%. Residential, they take 10. They take 10 and up, right? You have Airbnbs. The more intensive the work is, the more the percentage is. Airbnbs, I don't know, 15, 20%, right? The point of property management companies that I like is they pay the expenses. I don't have down here. I'll make sure I write that. They pay the expenses. What was that? Who made this line right here? No, nobody else has the power to. Maybe it was just me. Whoops. That's on my computer. Weird. Okay, let's just go back to it. People can make lines while I'm in the middle of doing this. Who's doing it? Come on.
Somehow someone had to get like part of your screen share.
Share whiteboards, collaborate with Zoom apps, annotate on share content.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I just unchecked it.
I'm gonna
Okay.
unshare and share again because you got 2 lines on the screen.
All right, fine. Stop messing with me, y'all. Okay. So our management company, the most important thing is they take care of, leasing out the property. They do the reporting, which is like, they got to come up with what we call the 515 report, right? The most important 5 things in 15 minutes is what we really do. So it's a 515 report. We have templates. We have things that we do that we use that I will show in this course as well. Accounting. I don't want to deal with all that. 300 unit storage deal. You know how much accounting there is? You know how much stuff you have to deal with? I don't want to look through all that. All right. So that's saving me time so that we can operate the deals. We can actually implement the business strategy instead of looking at the daily operations. So staffing the property if you need it. We have two in that deal. So management, being property manager, you can make 3 to 8% on that. All right. Value creation. This is part of your business plan, implementing your business plan. How do you create value? And I just shared earlier, creating value is improving your NOI. $1 equals $20. Right? How do you create more of that? So either you can increase the rents, you can renovate the interiors, you can increase rents after you do that. You can add a washer dryer, you can add a dishwasher, you can add valet trash, you can add whole lot of things that doesn't add a lot to their rent, right? I mean, if you put a dishwasher in, it's $150, something like that, and you can charge an extra $30 a month for rent. It's insane money. What's 30? So $30 that you get a month, okay, times 12 months, you're already making the dishwasher money back in less than that time, in 6 months. But the $360 that you increase in the year, that's right to the NOI bottom line, times $20. Okay, that's $7,200 in evaluation. You traded $150 for $7,200. Right? There's all sorts of things like this you can do in apartments. And this is why there's so much exciting ways to make money in here. All right. This is not how it works in residential, but in commercial, this is how it works in multifamily. You can increase your NOI by lowering the operating expenses, right, through a bunch of different things, including putting in low water flow toilets, right? If you can save some money there, it would be worth changing all of it out. But you have to know, are you creating value when you're spending the money? Otherwise, you're just going to spend the money, right? So you can add amenities that tenants will pay for. Valet trash, $20 a month. Yeah, they'd rather a tenant in a good apartment complex probably will not want to take their garbage and bring it all the way to the dumpster, right? If every single day, 6 o'clock, somebody comes and picks up their garbage and brings it to the dumpster, then it's totally worth the $20 a month. And then it costs you $11 per unit to have somebody do that. All of a sudden, you're making $10. You're making $10 for nothing every month, times the amount of units, times the 12 months, multiply by $20. Right? You're creating a value all over the place by increasing your NOI, which comes either through value adds like that or decreasing expenses. Okay. So one of the expenses that on this new deal that we have that we're going to decrease, the seller is paying for all the utilities. Okay. The seller is paying for all the utilities. That comes out to about $30,000 a year. Okay. And we're going to multiply that by $20. That's about $600,000 in evaluation just by charging back utilities, which tenants should be paying their own utilities anyways. Right? So $600,000 created by charging back utilities to the tenants. Where do you make this money anywhere else? Okay. And then not even to mention, we're also about $200 to $400 below market rents, which is, it's absurd the amount of money that could be made in this deal through that. So value creation. Okay. Now, I hope what you guys are seeing on this call is, man, I could do any small piece of this. In a deal, there are so many little moving pieces that you can all play a role in. But the challenge is, how do I get myself into the position so that I have that opportunity? Being on these calls is one. Speaking up is another one, right? So people get to know you. First thing you got to do is show up. You got to commit and you got to show up. Those are the two things that will get you through the door. It's not even just opening the door. It's get you through the door by showing commitment and showing up. Doesn't even matter if you don't know anything. People will work with you. People will buy your products, not because of what you got, but because of who you are. Like, what type of discipline do you have? What type of character you got? Hey, at any point, if anybody has questions, feel free to, ask. So the sponsorship equity, this is basically your general partnership team, right? So somebody that's running the deal. They're typically between 5 to 35%. I don't see anybody running a deal for 5% because that's just extremely low, and there's no point of doing that unless this is like, maybe it's your first one and you don't even care about the returns that you're getting. You just want the experience. You want the investors to win. Maybe I can see that as a scenario, but I just don't see the deal running well when you don't get paid. Why would anybody work that hard for somebody else when they're not gaining? All right. So that's, I usually typically see between 20 to 35%. Okay. I've done deals up to 50% because of how much work I have to do. If I'm running Airbnbs for somebody and we're in a deal together, if you bring the money, we're 50-50 partners on profits. All right. Because your returns are going to be higher. Your cash flow is going to be higher. Now, a lot more problems, a lot more stuff. End of the day, not worth it, if you ask me. Good place to start, but not a strategy to create wealth long term. So your general partnership team or your sponsorship equity, your team has to win the deal. That's a whole beast of itself. You got to win the deal. Winning the deal is hard. You got to hire and oversee the management company. You got to oversee the strategy from your pro forma, what you projected. How do you make that happen? 99% of the times you go into a deal, it isn't going to just be exactly how you project it. You're going to hit a whole bunch of like things. You're going to see a whole bunch of things. We bought this one deal that we did the underwriting. We went through all of it. The due diligence, we had a company walk the properties, all of that, only to find out once the deal was over, there was a bunch of people that they brought in 4 months ahead, basically, to really boost up the occupancy rate. And as soon as we were done, they either stopped paying or they moved out. And some of them, we actually found out they moved out like a month before, but it took us, 3 months, 4 months to close that deal. And, either they paid somebody to be in there, they gave a whole ton of incentive for non-qualified tenants to be in there. Right. And that's on our fault. Maybe we needed to look at the due diligence of their screening process and go through that too. All right. So that was like a $14 million deal. And now, we're set back a little bit, but we pivot. See, this is being a great operator is about pivoting and seeing that it's always an opportunity. What's the opportunity here? On this deal, we had to pivot. The way we pivoted was we were going to be slowly renovating and kind of just covering our, expenses and all that with whatever tenants we got, and we'll slowly renovate. Now we found out, whoa, we got like 40% vacancy and we got all these units that we can just go and renovate. We got $1.5 million in the bank for CapEx. Let's go. 40 units at a time, because nobody really wants to move into a place that's doing construction all the time too, right? If somebody's moving out, then we go in and we start renovating. Now the tenants next door are like, oh, what's all the banging and the drills and all that? All right, so let's get it all out the way. So we're doing like insane speed in that. So pivoting and doing and still, I think that's going to be really, really, it's a blessing for us. But you want to oversee you want to do the due diligence. It's part of being a good sponsor team, part of a good GP. But all of that's going to come from experience. As much as I can talk about this to you guys, if conceptually you understand it, you don't have the experience, it doesn't set inside your bones, where when you get into a deal, you'll still forget that. That's why it's good to latch on to somebody that's done the deals. Right? You want to latch on to somebody until they become your ceiling. If they become your ceiling, then move on and do something else. But if there's something to learn still, if there's still an ability to leverage this person, do it. Create the strategic partnership. All right. And I run a mastermind. And one of the things that I wake up every morning and go to sleep saying to myself is, I'm not going to be their ceiling. That means I get to push myself. And it's one of the reasons why I push myself so hard all the time, is because I'm not going to let anybody down. Right? People paid to be a part of my mastermind, and I will push. And they're going to be like, whoa, how did you end up doing $100 million deal? It's because I have accountability partners They may not even know that they're my accountability partners, but they are. So yeah, and then you got to report to the investors and you got to guarantee the loan, right? Not everybody can get the loan. Commercial loans are easier to get than residential. All right, here is my example that I kind of jumped into earlier, but total profit potential example. $7 million deal sold in 5 years for $11 million. The gross income on this deal was I shouldn't have put all the answers here. I should have people interact. Okay. I will change that for future. Gross income, $700,000 a year. You put $3 million down on this deal. On the exit, the investors will make 3 million plus, which is 2x the returns, excluding the distributions on a yearly basis, or your yearly distributions. So as we said, the different ways to make money in this deal. Acquisition fee. If you have a 2% acquisition fee on this specific deal, that's when you buy the deal, your acquisition fee is $140,000. $7 million times 2% acquisition, $140,000. Disposition fee is the exit fee that you charge 2% on, and that's on your exit money, which is $11 million. 2%, $11 million. I shared the example earlier. Most people got it right, or everybody did that wrote in there. So thank you for participating. $220K. Now, the sponsor equity, this is a 70-30 deal. So investors own 70% of the deal. General partners own 30% of the deal. $450K equity in this deal. Okay. Actually, it's probably higher than that. 3 million down. It's around that number. Okay, we'll figure it out later. Actually, you know what? We'll figure it out right now. So $3 million you put down. Okay, this is with everybody. 30% of that. It's actually 900K. Okay, so the sponsor equity in this deal is about 900K. Also, the management fee, right? If you are managing the deal, you're going to make $192,000 a year on this deal. Let me make sure that's right. You always got to double check, sometimes you're just doing things so fast, you forget. Oh, sorry. Hold on. So it's 700K is your gross income times 4% management fee, 28,000 times 5 years. Okay. 140K. Sorry. 140K in this 5-year period for 4% management fee. Your asset management fee, which is 2% of that, which goes to your general partner team, not the property manager, is about 14,000 per year. So on a deal that's generating 700,000 a year, this is what you can expect depending on how you structure the deal. So total earned outside of distribution. So there's distributions on a monthly or quarterly or whatever. We're not counting those. And excluding the management fee as well, the sponsor team is going to make somewhere around on this deal, actually more than that, about 1 million and change. Okay, so I'll fix these numbers, but you guys get the point. Go ahead, Barbara. Barb.
I must have missed something. Barb, either is fine. So 4%, I'm driving, so I'm sort of not seeing everything, but 4% was 192 and 2% is 14.
No. So I just said this is actually 28 a year. So it's actually 28
okay.
times 5.
So
Yeah,
40,
so it's actually
so
140.
2% is right.
It's 140. So as I was writing this, I added some more things into it to make sense of the thing, and I forgot to change the numbers on the bottom. But I will change this. So just know that the management fee here is actually 28,000 a year, which comes out to 140,000. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope that was, this is just one of the modules, and we go it comes with paperwork and documents and things like that that can support. Some of the modules are much longer, some of them are around the same, but that's going to give you, the entire module's really gonna, and for everyone that's actually in our Legends mastermind, you guys will get the whole thing. But for everyone else, like, this is going to teach you everything that I know about multifamily. Okay. And probably some extra stuff too. And we will always add to it. And the cool thing is, it isn't just a course. It is a community that is being built. So I'm going to show you guys something, a vision that I have. And then we'll take questions, and then we'll break out into rooms. Okay. So, we're creating an online network called the Legends Wealth Alliance. It might be named a little different after, but this space is like, for example, right now you can see the event that's going on, the rookie roundtable is going on right now. You will have basically all the events that are happening, and it's not just going to be my events. People will get to build things. So this is going to be a private, this is our private mastermind, which, when you join this place, you're not actually going to be able to see these, but the deal tank is an open community, because we had a bunch of people join just this past Saturday. And, it's basically like Facebook, Clubhouse, WhatsApp, I don't know, everything into one place, right? So the recordings of the episodes are in here as well. There's different workshops that people will put on, and it's all going to go in here. So there's going to be different workshops that are being put on. Now, the point, and the CRM community is going to be here too. The multifamily mastery is going to have a course and the community around it. Like, every single course and every single thing that happens in here can have a community of its own, right? So there's a feed that goes on just for this course that we're running. And the replays will be in there. The call events and all that will be in there. So if you're part of that, you will only see this, and you will only see these. You can explore other things. The goal is to be able to build this community for everyone. If you have something to share and you have a course to share, you can share it in here, and you can partner with us and build your community in here. As you build your community, they will see other things. And as other people are building communities and I build my community, everyone's going to see your stuff too. This is the community of abundance that I want to create. My vision is to change the world, change the way the world thinks, that they go from this win-lose mindset to a win-win all the time. That coming into this community, bringing your community, and we're looking for community leaders, bringing your community and building one inside a bigger community is only going to benefit you also. And when people start to really recognize that, this is going to be the community that's going to shift the paradigm of everyone's thinking. 360,000 members, that is the number that we want of people in this community. That's the target. All right. So big vision, big goal. I've been working on this for months, and eventually this thing is going to come off of the network it's on and into our own thing. So we're really going to, take what Mighty Networks has created and turn it into our own. We have the ability to, build on it. Like, their Mighty Networks is just a skeleton, and you can build on it and you can turn it into your own thing. Right? You create your own app and all of that, and they pull it off their, completely off like their network, and you create your own. So eventually, this is the goal. We will have, the Legends Wealth Alliance is really going to cover all areas of life to create wealth. So health will be in here. Relationships will be in here. Spirituality will be in here. And there will be different sections for you to look. And when you go in there, you're not going to see all the stuff. Some things will be private, will be in secret. So you can't actually join it unless you were privately invited to, or you pay to be a part of some community in there. Right. So, somebody can literally be running their own private community that's paid, mastermind, whatever, inside there. Now they have the ability to see all the free things and also see all the workshops. They can go to explore. Like, they don't show up like this, but there's an explore button and it pops up and it'll show free, whatever, paid, price on it. And people can go into it and find you if you have something to offer. And then you can build a community and build around it, because I believe that any business, the success of business is through community. Like we are in a time in our life, I think that, the world craves authenticity, craves, belonging, being a part of something. Like we don't just want all the cookie cutter things that the Walmarts and the giant conglomerates are out there just shoving everything down our throats. Like we want authenticity, we want community, we want something that's unique to, something that is more personalized. And I think through community, this is the way that we build it. And we shift the world paradigm doing that. And when we have 360,000 members in there, I believe that is the tipping point, okay, of the collective of everyone else to be like, oh, this is the way to do it. And institutions and governments and all of that will find that this is the way that you inspire and move people, not through fear and not through oppression and not through a win-lose mindset. So that's my big vision. And I hope that, something of anything that I said tonight lands. Maybe it's about the community. Maybe it's about the possibilities in this course. But yeah, that's going to be coming out soon. And I am actually taking about 10 to 12 people on a private journey through the course. And, that will be a paid thing. But I do believe that that group is going to learn. I'm going to give everything that I got to teaching everything I know in that group. All right. So, and then you will be a part of a community. Our entire Legends Mastermind community will be also a part of that. So, your network's just going to be bigger. And of course, anyone that is in our mastermind has full reigns, full access to any course, anything that comes through what I create and what really Legends creates. Okay. So yeah, Nick kind of just threw the link in there. Cool. Good stuff. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts, feedback? We're all here. We've okay. Go ahead, Barb.
You said participate, so I tend to like to sit in the background. So this was great. I'm keep underwriting deals, and I listen to lots of different calls, and I just can't find that deal that works yet. So this was awesome because it gave me a perspective of components that I hadn't really thought about, like the whole disposition aspect, because I'm so focused on acquiring. And yes, there's that exit at some point, but all those pieces I hadn't really considered or even thought about. So this was awesome. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really believe that when people are on the other side, and I was just sharing this on the entrepreneur call, is on the other side of having done a real estate deal, a successful deal, it's easy. And it's when you haven't crossed that line yet and you haven't crossed the threshold of actually doing a deal, all of the thinking about it is really hard, right? We're like, okay, the way that I'm going to do it is I'm just going to underwrite deals. I'm going to underwrite 1,000 deals. Of course, you can make it happen there. But again, it isn't about what you do. It's about the people that you have not met, that you haven't got the right teammates to bring you along. And so it's a relationship game. And I talked about this on my Thursday call. Prioritize ROR, return on relationships. That above your return on investment. Your investment should be on your relationships. Because relationships, it never ends. You dictate where that's going to go. And you focus on the return on relationships. And money will come, deals will come. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And good. Where do we meet? You are very familiar, but I'm sorry. It slipped my mind. Where do we meet? How do we meet? Oh, be safe now.
Just on your calls, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Or
look
maybe at a Cardone event. I mean,
okay.
I've been to a
Probably.
bunch of different multi-family events. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for speaking up and being here today. Appreciate you. Luis.
Hi, Alex.
Hey.
Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I always thought that acquisition fee went to the broker.
Acquisition fee. So there is a broker fee and then there's an acquisition fee as well.
Oh, so there's two separate ones.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, as an operator, as a general partner, a big portion of your money is going to come from the acquisition fee. Right? Like when you're in a deal and let's say you got 4 or 5 partners or whatever, your asset management fee and your split with the investors is not very much. It's not going to make a big difference for you. But if you can acquire a deal this year and you can make $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 for the deal, then at least you can justify all the work that you're going to put in for the year on the deal. Right? Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Nobody's going to operate deals and you're going to have a bunch of deals that people are just going to neglect. Now that's a motivation factor. On the flip side of it, you have a lot of people that also focus on just acquisitions. Because you get paid on the acquisition, you get paid on the disposition, right? So you have people that are focused on just getting in and getting out of deals and not the best returns for investors, right? And so those are the pros and cons of it. But if I'm invested into a deal, let's say I invested a deal with you, I want to make sure that you are happy being in the deal running this. If I don't have to take phone calls and I don't have to deal with anything and I get a check every month in my mailbox, I want to make sure whoever is writing my check is freaking happy, that they are fairly compensated for. And so, if the deal makes sense, you can still give me these types of returns. Take what you need. All right, because you also found the deal. Without you finding the deal, all of this wouldn't even be possible. So that's the savvy investor part too. I want everyone to understand. When you understand the general partner side, you will understand also a little bit more about being an investor as well. Right? Because when you only look at it from one perspective and it's a win-lose, it's like, hey, maybe you should it's better if you take 5% and we take 95%. Yeah, it sounds great. That win-lose mentality, though, is only going to hurt everybody. All right, so.
And as a follow-up question, when does that payment go through, like the acquisition fee?
So it's part of the raise, right? So when you do a underwriting, when we go through underwriting together in the program as well, you will see where the fee gets added into, where in the underwriting sheet in the table, and that fee comes as part of the raise. So when the raise is finished, you get paid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, great. It's so good and it's refreshing to go through this and then you guys asking these types of questions, because I feel like it's an automatic thing. I actually didn't even think that would be a question like for people to understand. So, really appreciate that. So, and then the broker most of the times will get paid by the seller. There are times where the buyer will pay broker fees. Depends on how good the deal is. That's why real estate is great, because endless possibilities. Structure it any way that you want. Right? If I love the deal and the difference is going to be either the seller pays the broker or I pay the broker, I'm paying the broker. I'm not losing the deal because I'm going to argue over $100,000 when there's $1 million on the table. All right. So you gotta factor those things in too. And a lot of that is going to come from, all right, Adis, thank you. A lot of that comes from experience as well. Now, typically, I have heard don't take acquisition asset management to boost investors' returns. Okay, so Barb, I'll ask you this. If you were running my deal, right, and I'm giving you money to run a deal, you don't get paid upfront, nor do you get paid from your asset management. Like, what is the motivation for you to even be running that deal? Are you going to take a phone call every single week with the property management company? Human beings are creatures of value. We don't do things if we don't find value in it. Doesn't even matter if you think that you just want to be, I'm gonna be a great operator. It's just about the investors on this deal. Day in and day out, you will get exhausted by not being fairly compensated. That's a problem. I do not want my operator to not get paid so that I can get an extra 2% on asset management. It's like nothing. And it could, because it's spread out across everybody. Why would I want that? Right. So, these are things also, and this is the challenge also of when you don't commit to a program or a team, you hear free information all day. Free information all day is hard for you to discern what is the right practice, because there's no one shoe fits all practice. Okay. Sometimes people, when you learn and you only have concepts, you think of them as truths when they aren't. Only when you have done deals would you know and be able to discern those things, right? Somebody was like, oh, you never, ever, ever pay a broker this much money. I've paid a broker 10% to get a deal done before, because I know, based on my experience, that 10% is nothing compared to what I'm about to make. Right? So it comes with experience. And that's why if you don't have the experience, latch on to somebody that has. And you just be as valuable as you can. Because here's the thing. You latch onto a team, you latch onto somebody, you better always figure out how to provide value. As soon as you could be replaced, you will probably be replaced if somebody does it better. Right? So not only are you focused on building that relationship and nurturing it, you're also providing as much value as you can. You're doing a great job, the best that you can do, because this is your opportunity. You're always earning your way to the next deal, to the next thing, to the next project. All right. So hopefully that shed some light on that part. Anastasia, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
So I had a question in regards to the percentages. This is all like over my head, but you do a good job in simplifying it and explaining things that I haven't heard before or thought of. When it comes to the percentages that you speak of in terms of the acquisition payouts or paying the broker, is it like the percentage of the perceived value of the building, or
It's
is
the purchase
it
price.
percentage of the net? Oh,
It's the
okay.
purchase price. Yeah. So if I buy a $3 million deal, 1% is,
Of that deal.
what is that? $30,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also I had a question about, you probably answered it, but I just want to make sure, pro forma. You mentioned something about the strategy of how they do the pro forma.
Yeah.
or something.
Implementing your pro forma. So
What is
pro forma is basically your projections, right? So you can say, if you say, hey, I'm going to increase the rents by $100 a month in year 2, your projection for that year's income and returns will be different. That is the pro forma. It's something that hasn't been done yet. And that's actually something, that's a great question, because brokers and new people fall into this trap, and only new people do. Anyone that's experienced thinks brokers are ridiculous for doing this. Is on the OM, when they send you a deck, Okay. And this is residential, all of it. Anybody that's selling something, they're going to show you what's possible, right? If they tell you something is a 5, is an 8 cap, right? And you look at their financials and you're like, this is not an 8 cap. It's a 2 cap. Oh, but in the future, you can add the rents here and blah, 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 all of that. And that's why we're selling it to you today for a future value that you create. So don't fall for that, right? And we'll, cap rates. Once I start talking about cap rates, people get confused a little bit, but just those are all things that you gotta like repeatedly learn until you get it. And that's why on these calls, it's like, I know so much of it is like it's trying to fit in your brain, but it's not because it's so much, right? And but as you understand it, it becomes easier to digest and it becomes an automatic. And when you understand one thing, all of a sudden the next thing makes sense. And then the next thing makes sense.
And then I have another question, last
Sure.
one, I promise.
Okay.
In the sponsorship equity part, I guess the general
General
partnership,
partner.
if you are someone who doesn't have the money, but you have the deal, you're saying that in order for other partners to see the value in working with you, you'd obviously have to be responsible for doing the closing or the contracts.
So you can split. So let's say I offer on our team, we will offer somewhere between 5 to 15% of the general partnership for you finding the deal. Now, finding the deal, sourcing the deal has multiple parts. You got to get the deal. You got to get the deal. That's got to be exclusive, right? I mean, if you found the deal that's on Crexy and we all see the deal, I mean, maybe you made it work and you got it under contract. That's worth like 5 to 10%, right? But you also got to get it under contract. That's the challenge. Like most people just try to underwrite and find deals and try to give it to somebody and be like, bring me on a team. It's not that valuable. Everybody's doing the same thing, right? Nowadays, I barely even go on to Crexy or any of those sites because I got so many deals coming to me. I don't even need to do that. Our team is looking at deals all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pick a deal from the deal tank if we're going to do the next deal.
And
right?
is it 35% of that 1% that you?
No, so there is when you do a GP-LP split, right? It's based off of the total amount that was raised, right? And so let's say on that deal was $3 million. Then the GP side, which on that deal is 30%. That means according to the double in 5 years, you should have around 30% of that 3 million because you've put in all that work, right? So it's somewhere around 900,000 on that. But that's in the course of 5 years. And if you can exit based on your projections, then that's what you got. All right. It's not money that you're going to see as cash flow. It's the equity in the deal. And then so out of that 910,000, 10% for finding a deal will be about $90,000 in equity in the deal. So we want to be able to measure those things because we want to add to our net worth. This is something else that I teach in the course is like, it's not about just the cash flow. We need to focus on building our net worth. And we always want to keep track of net worth. At the end of the year, it's not about how much money you made. It's not even about how much money you keep. It's about where did your net worth go, right? I mean, keeping a certain amount of money obviously adds to your net worth. But I'm talking about asset net worth. You want to be increasing the asset net worth all the time. And the easiest way to do it is to take the money that you saved and put it into a deal. And now your net worth increases by that much asset wise. Or you go and find a deal or you participate on some portion of what I shared earlier and you get a small percentage and then you calculate what that percentage is worth. And then boom, that adds to your net worth. All right. So we want to pay attention to our net worth. Here's the funny thing. Most people that don't have $1 million net worth don't keep track of their net worth at all. Not even like just no idea. No idea what we're even worth. We're literally worth whatever's in our bank account. And so beginning to pay attention to that brings that into your space and has you participate and do things that increases that. So that becomes important. All right. So, all right, that's the last question. I want to give you guys a chance to break out into rooms and meet each other. So we'll do 2 10-minute breakout rooms where you guys will break out into a room of 5 or 6, introduce yourself, what you're up to, what you're doing, maybe what you learned today, what was the aha moments, and just share with each other. Return on relationships. This is an opportunity to invest right now. And so do it. From these calls, we actually had somebody, we've had people come together and do deals. We've had people come together and create their own Zooms, right? That they're off doing their own Zooms now. Other teams that were built from this. I was one of the earlier people that started these calls, these Zoom calls. And now there's like 1 million of them. My hope is that from our breakout rooms, people met and created things out there. I know somebody that, in our group now that met here, and she's right there, and now are in a business together, right? They've created a partnership in a business, which is awesome. I love seeing that. So it's Jess Electric. Jess Electric officially now has a partner. Awesome. Okay.
Not just a partner, a great partner.
Yeah. And that stemmed from a breakout room from this call. So go and make shit happen. All right. Okay, Nick, send them. And we'll come back and we'll share again. So go meet somebody. Go meet that somebody, the somebody.
Breakout rooms are open. By recording.